Hey guys, Pat here, getting your move of the day in. And what we're working on today is inner and outer thighs. We're also going to work on our glutes. So you'll have 3 different movements mixed within the same exercise. Now, you can do this without the bands, or you can do it with the bands. So if you don't have bands, then you're still able to do this move. And especially if you haven't done this move before, I would suggest trying it without the bands and then adding the bands if you have them. If you live pretty close to me and you want some, just let me know. They're like $4 a piece, and I keep a pretty good amount of stock in these. You can also get them on your Beachbody site, and they come in different resistances, okay? This yellow one here is going to provide the least amount of resistance. You can see how it's longer than the rest. So it's going to give you a greater range of motion. The green one is going to be your medium resistance. And then the red, of course, is going to be the most resistance. See how there's not much give in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt the red just to show you the exercise. But first I'm going to do it without any bands to show you the move itself. And then if you have bands, show you how to use that. All right? So let's get right to it. All right, now I don't have shoes on, okay? You don't necessarily need shoes for this move. I'm gonna move this camera a little bit. There we go. All right. Because obviously all the weight is going to be in one foot or the other. I feel pretty confident that I can hold my balance without shoes on. Shoes actually give you better balance because it evenly distributes the weight, and you have a little bit of more stability with a shoe on. That's why yoga is kind of hard for some people, because they're not used to that balance without their shoes on. So without the band first, I'm going to hold on to this, okay? Kind of far away, but I'll talk loud so you can hear me. Level 1, I want you to have something that you can provide stability, okay? When we remove this, it goes to a level 2, and there will be only 2 levels in this particular exercise. So a wall will do just fine. You can use the back of a chair. You need it up kind of high, okay, right at your hip height, whatever you're using to hold yourself up, okay? What we're going to do first is we're going to work, this happens to be my right side, probably your left, that outer thigh, all right? So you're going to stand right up against that wall. Now what I want you to focus on here is keeping that shoulder in alignment with the hip, so I don't want you leaned in, okay? This leg that you're putting all that weight on, because this one's going to come off the floor, slight bend in that knee, making sure you don't lock out that knee, okay? And you'll notice as you're going through the exercise, you have to constantly remind yourself not to do that, okay? So get even with the wall, slight bend in your knee, make sure your shoulder is over your hip, and then this foot right here. Now what I want this foot is I want the toes pointed towards the ceiling. Okay, so a nice flexed motion, all right? And this leg is perfectly straight, okay? Now we're not leaning left or we're not leaning right, standing straight up and down, keeping our weight evenly distributed through our hips. You have this wall to provide balance, okay? Our first move that we're doing, okay, is lifting straight up, okay? So those toes are going straight towards the ceiling, all right? And you're just lifting and lowering, making sure you keep that bend in that opposite knee, okay? You're not lowering your foot all the way to the floor. I want you to keep some sort of resistance on that leg at all times. Okay, so we're just lifting and lowering. Now notice I'm not lifting my leg all the way up here either, okay? Tiny movements, okay? Abs are in nice and tight and contracted. We're just lifting and lowering, okay? You're gonna give me 20 repetitions right here. Then you're gonna lower down. That foot is not touching the floor, foot is still flexed. Slight bend in that knee. Now we're coming out to the side. So it's lift and lift. Now this is one that you'll notice you want to kind of lean so that you can get a greater range of motion, but I want you to fight to stay straight over those hips, all right? Lifting with that heel, straight out to the side, leg is still straight, okay? And you're gonna lift for 20 repetitions, okay? Then that foot comes back into position. This time you are gonna slightly lean forward, okay? And you're going to lift through that heel, straight up into the back, and I'll turn to the side so you can see. straight up into the back. You're working that glute, okay? Still keeping that resistance. I'm not lowering that foot all the way to my starting position, okay? Lifting and lifting. Good. Then you're going to come right back to the front. We're still not done with that leg. Flexing, okay? Now I want you to take that foot out in front of you. Toes are flexed towards the ceiling, probably about 3 inches, okay, from the floor. I want you to cross over the front, okay? Now when you come out to the side, there, okay? So you want to come out and then across. So it's cross and forward. I want you to make sure you keep those hips square, not this. We're not turning with it, okay? Keeping the hips square. Foot comes out, foot comes across. Foot comes out, foot comes across. You're working outer and inner on that movement, all right? So you'll have 4 different positions, 20 repetitions each side, and then I want you to flip and do that other side, okay? So you got forward, side, back, and then I want you to start out and crossing over. Looks like a pendulum, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to do 3 sets of those, and in between each set, take a 30 to a 45-second break, all right? And you're going to really start to feel that in those legs, okay? Now, if you're using a band, this is going to add a little bit of resistance, okay? And what you're also going to do to take it up a level is not use that wall for balance. What that's going to do is make you engage your core to provide stability. But if you notice that you're starting to lean into it, then I want you to find that stable item that you're using and straighten yourself back out. Because form is more important, okay, than adding that resistance or increasing your numbers. Okay, I want you to make sure you have the proper form, or else you're actually not working the muscle group that we're trying to target here. Okay, so I'm going to take this band and I'm going to step into it. And where you want it is just above your ankles. All right, I'll back up here so you can see. Good. Now be careful because you are tied up here. Okay, so you're not going to be able to take that step out to catch yourself on that balance. All right, so in this position, I'm not using anything to hold my balance, so I'm going to put my hands on my hips, okay? Again, transferring that weight onto my left foot because I'm using my right first, keeping that shoulder in alignment with my hip, and a slight bend in that knee. Foot comes out, okay? And you're going to lift, good, right there, right out to the side. And adding that little bit of resistance you're going to feel on the outside of this thigh, but this leg is also going to burn it because it's holding all the weight. Okay? For that forward motion, same thing, slight bend in the knee, foot is flexed, and lifting straight up. Good. Leg is straight. You're going to notice a little bend in that knee, which is fine, okay? You're not locking it out anyway completely. It's just with the band, you can definitely feel the resistance, okay? So you want that little bend in the knee, okay? And then when we go to the back, same thing, slightly lean forward, okay? Hips square to the front, and we're lifting. And you'll notice it kind of goes out at an angle, okay? Instead of straight behind. What I don't want is this foot to be over onto the other side, okay? So lifting straight back into that glute. When you come to that front motion, remember that foot is out at an angle, and we're going to cross over and back. Ah, you see how I rotated? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do what I do. Okay? So cross and back. That's a little difficult. Cross and back. Almost looks like a pendulum on a clock. Okay, cross over and back. Good. So, you either have your object that you're holding yourself up on and doing it without a band, moving into that next level, having a band, but still holding on to that object so that you can get used to the resistance. Next one up from that is not having anything to provide something to hold on to, okay? And then using that band as resistance, okay? Making sure that you get 20 reps on each movement, which is going to be 4 movements with each leg, and then flip and do that other side, then take your break, and then go through the process again. 3 sets, all right? So that should be it. And again, if you want bands, let me know. I can get those to you in the mail or otherwise if you happen to live close by. Again, they're $4 a piece. You let me know what resistance you want. Other than that, that is it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.